Hello, my name's Mike and this is a video about personal independence payment daily living activity number 6, which is about the help that I need or would need most days to select appropriate clothing and to dress and undress. And to do those things in a reasonable time, whenever I need to throughout the day, to an acceptable standard without too much pain, discomfort or other adverse effects. What do we need to tell them about? Well, as always, I've got my checklist. And as always, the first question on the checklist is about aids. Physical things that I use to dress or undress that I wouldn't need if I didn't have my health condition. The second question is about whether I need or would need prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining to select appropriate clothing or to dress or undress. Third question, well, that's about whether I get undressed in inappropriate circumstances and whether I need someone to deal with that. The fourth question is about physical help. This part of the assessment looks separately at physical help to select clothing, physical help to dress and undress my lower body, physical help to dress and undress my upper body. And the final question, what if I've got my aids, I've got my prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining, I've got my physical help, what if I still can't get dressed whenever I need to in the day? What if I still can't do it to an acceptable standard? What if I still can't do it without an unreasonable degree of pain? What if I still can't do it in a reasonable time? So, here's 3 examples: Anthony, Sharif and Kamaljit. Anthony has been very badly affected by a depressive illness that causes a high degree of anxiety. We answered the question about needing prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining, and this is what he said. I always need prompting to put on clean clothes. Since I've become ill, I've lost all interest in life and everything seems pointless. I can't bring myself to manage even simple self-care tasks. I wear the same things day after day and often sleep in my clothes. The only time that I put on clean clothes is when my sister comes round and encourages me. Anthony's answers were about the help that he needs in his actual life. The next one, Kamaljit, is a more hypothetical answer. This is what she had to say about needing physical help. My pain is at its worst for the first few hours of the day, so my dad does the school run while I stay in my PJs and dressing gown. Around 11 a.m, I get dressed, ready to begin working from home. I pick up my kids around 4 p.m, and as soon as I'm home, I get back into my PJs and dressing gown. I know that if I leave it any later, I'll be too tired to do this. If for some reason I needed to get dressed before 11 in the morning or after 5 in the afternoon, I would need physical help with both my lower body and my upper body. And the final example is a more complex, convoluted one that deals with aids, prompting, physical help and the what if you still can't do it. So, this is what Sharif said. Aids. I need to have a chair to sit on while I'm dressing. I use 2 helping hand grabber sticks to get pants and trousers over my feet, and I use a long shoe horn. Cool, aids. Prompting. Getting dressed is tiring and very painful, so I often stay in my PJs and dressing gown. I only get dressed if my wife Sharon encourages me to do so. Physical help. When I do get dressed, I always do it on my own because I don't want to feel dependent. But it now takes half an hour to do what used to be a 5-minute task. If I needed to dress in a more reasonable length of time, I would need physical help. Because I can't bend easily without losing my balance, Sharon would need to help me getting my pants and trousers over my feet and with getting my shoes and socks on. Because I can't raise my hands above my head without getting dizzy and disoriented, she'd have to help me getting t-shirts, jumpers and sweatshirts over my head. Because of my weak left-hand side and poor shoulder mobility, she'd have to help me get my arms into button-up shirts and jackets. As I've said, in reality, I manage these things by sitting and going very slowly. The final question, what if you've got all that help and still can't do it? Even if Sharon helped me, getting dressed would still be very painful. And even if Sharon helped me, getting dressed would still be very long-winded, taking maybe 20 minutes to do what used to be a 5-minute task. So, it's the same old questions, isn't it? Aids, prompting, reminding, encouraging, explaining, physical help. We have the extra question about getting undressed at inappropriate places. And this one didn't mention safety, having someone with me all the time I'm getting dressed to keep me safe, because there are apparently no risks from dressing and undressing. Hopefully, if you need to communicate with PIP, you're finding this approach to breaking down your needs and explaining yourself useful. If you want my list, there's a link below. I'm sorry I can't help with individual claims, but if your organisation needs some training, get in touch.